All right, welcome back to the Infinite Gold podcast. It is your show host, Bre and Anthony Goldner. Today we have a very special guest, and I'd also like to acknowledge my soul sister, Carlie. So she is originally born in Italy, grew up in Africa. She speaks 4 languages. She moved out to the US in 2018. She went into the safari hunting business, and she's had some cool jobs like transporting gold, and she studied psychology. She also escaped an abusive relationship in Tanzania, which I believe is what brought her to America, if I'm saying correctly. um,
One of
then
the
she,
many reasons.
yeah, okay. So, yeah, one of the many reasons, left and got out into another bad relationship, and then was able to rediscover herself through nature and breath work, and then in turn found the love of her life. Carlie, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
So where do we begin? Carl, you have an amazing life already in the short years, not long, short years of your life. And the many jobs that you've had, from the safari hunting business to the transporting gold, which is really cool because our last name is Goldner. So
I know.
Love that.
that had to have been a fun job. Um, and then also doing now all of these adventures and these hikes and Kilimanjaro, Mount Rainier, Mount Whitney. What brought you really to the idea that nature's where it's at?
Man, after the years of struggle and turmoil, I feel like nature is what really helped me to rediscover myself because it really cuts out all the distractions, all the noise, and you're forced. I mean, I love spending time with myself. I love solitude, but we're so distracted with phones and TVs and podcasts and all the things that when you're out in nature, and especially if you're doing something hard, challenging, like climbing a mountain, it's just you, yourself, your thoughts, and God and nature.
Oof.
It's like you're
Yeah.
forced to reconnect with the things that truly matter. I'm like, there's no escaping it at that point. You go through what you go through, you work through what you need to work through, and it's such a beautiful thing. It's such a beautiful experience that not enough of us experience anymore because we're indoors all the time, or we're
Oh,
just busy
so
all the
good.
time.
True.
There's right. If you have kids, if you're married, if you're XYZ, fill in the blank, there's just constant chatter all the time, and
Yes.
yeah, we're just not used to just even going for a 10-minute walk by yourself. I mean, that's what saved me. Was That was like the only time that I had that really felt good. So it became a non-negotiable for me. A daily 10-20 minute walk turned into, what Chris and I do now with Eternal Warriors, where we go all over the world and all these adventures
Yeah.
outdoors. And like Greg said the other day on the call, he's like, we bring people out on these adventures, we call God and he answers most of the time. Like Megan experienced when we're climbing Kilimanjaro, and it's so beautiful. So yeah.
Straight up. Well, because it is forcing you to be where your feet are.
Correct. Yeah, for
Love
sure.
that.
Yeah.
So basically, what got you into this was finding yourself and being more one and true to yourself. What is something that you would recommend to somebody out there, man, woman, doesn't matter because we all go through it. How do I get more present and more centered if there's so much going on? I mean, I've got 2 phones here. I've got another work phone. We've got this computer. Like, there's so much going on. How do I even break away from it when there's so much in front of me?
I feel like it has to be a conscious choice. It has to be, you have to put effort into it, especially if you've got kids, if you've got a wife or a husband, or, two phones.
Yes.
That doesn't help. It has to be a choice. You have to carve out some time to do it, even when you don't feel like it. Like, I didn't want to go out for, a walk when it was cold outside, but again, that's what saved me. So if it's, speaking to your partner, and letting them know, it's like, listen, I need these 20 minutes to go do XYZ. And I know for you, like, you work a ton. We are just talking about that. It's like you have 2 days off in the next month, which is insane.
Yeah.
Um, But you know what? If you make things a priority, you will find time for them, right?
I
And
love that.
Absolutely.
breath work for me was another huge one. And I know we've talked about that in the past. And Brie, like you said,
Yeah.
it helps you to be where your feet are. It helps you to be more present. And it's, we all have this like annoying roommate. Not all of us. I told Chris the other day, I'm like, I have this voice in my head, and he's like, "What are you talking about? You're crazy." I'm like, "No, we're like, some of us have it and some of us don't, but it's this,
Yes.
this internal chatter
Yeah.
that we have." Yeah, I feel
Mhm.
like for us women, it's so common, and I call it this annoying roommate, and it gives us
This
bad
annoying
advice,
roommate.
and it tells us that
Yeah.
we're bad at this and we're bad at that, and all the stories and all the limiting beliefs, and somehow and for some reason we keep going back to this annoying roommate to ask it for advice, and we actually listen to it even after the bad history and the bad record that it has with us,
Yes.
and we choose to listen to it, and we have to get to the point in life where we just decide to kick this annoying roommate out of our heads and just go back to the core of who we are, and that's pure consciousness, that's our soul, that's whatever you want to call it, and breath work and nature really helps us to reconnect with who we are in here. And it's like that knowing, like again, Greg says, it's like, I don't believe that I'm XYZ. I know that that's who I am. So getting rid
Bit
of that
different.
roommate has been an absolute game changer. And it's not perfect. Sometimes it sneaks back in. He's like, "Hey, can I come live with you again?" I'm like, "No, go away. Get out of
You're like, "Get
here."
out." You're
Yeah.
like, "I changed the locks. You don't get a key anymore." Set your
Exactly.
back door.
Yeah.
Hello.
No, can I break
Housekeeping.
some housekeeping? Turn down.
But
Yeah.
it's not housekeeping, it's the tornado.
It's a
Come clear your shit
tornado.
up.
Exactly.
Are we talking
Right.
about our toddlers, or what are we talking about here?
No, that mental roommate that she's talking
No,
about.
I know.
But yeah, no, that
You
too.
experience it?
Our our
Bring me.
actual our actual toddler roommate creates the tornadoes too. But
Right.
no, actually,
But you can't kick that
it's
one out.
funny. No,
No.
no, and I
No.
love that one too much.
Yeah.
But it's funny you mentioned women, and I think probably the majority of women have that. But also, I think the men who are are so high strung and so trying to do so many things, because I feel it where the chatter comes in, and a lot of times my chatter is more of, instead of it being the limiting beliefs, it's the, hey, what if we go do this? Hey, we need to go do this. Hey, this needs to happen. This needs to happen. This needs to happen. This needs to happen. So let me ask you a question for somebody like myself and or some women out there who are having that chatter.
Mhm.
What meditation techniques or breath work do you recommend to be more grounded? Because I'll be honest, I've tried meditation before and I last about 2 seconds because I'm already thinking about something else and I'm already doing something else. Now everybody says,
That's hard.
do you continue to do it? No. And I know that's what needs to happen. But if there's some techniques you have for myself and or everybody else out there, we'd appreciate it.
You're like, yeah, help.
Just saying.
Well,
SOS.
the buffalo in you, and for those of you who don't know, look into the animal profiles, reach out to any of us, and we will
Yes.
share those with you. But I can understand with the buffalo in you, you're always like, go, 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 next thing,
Hmm.
ramming your head into things all the time.
Yep.
Um, I mean, there's so many different practices out there,
Yeah.
even within just breath work, right? You've got box breathing, you've got Wim Hof type of breathing, you've got holotropic breathing where you go on like this, it's almost like an acid trip that you go on. Um,
Are you
but
talking about the dark rooms and ayahuasca? Is that what we're talking about now?
yeah, but just using your breath, which is wild.
Okay. Very
Yeah.
interesting. All
So
right.
you're pretty much hyperventilating for 3 hours
Mm.
straight, but it's a beautiful journey sometimes that you go on, and
Mm.
sometimes nothing comes up, and that's what sometimes I'll sit outside, or whatever, I'm on my couch doing breath work for 10 minutes and nothing comes up, and I'm like, I can't wait for this to be over. This is dumb. And I keep getting like my brain squirrels so much. And Chris will attest to this. He's like, stop squirreling. Oh, I just nope. Get back to what you were doing. My brain does
Yeah.
that all the time. And I feel like when I have an expectation of what a certain session is supposed to look like, or meditation or breath work or whatever it is, when I have expectations, I get disappointed because I'm focused on what it's
Mm.
supposed to be like and what's supposed to come up. I'm like, oh, supposed to have this like wild, journey or experience. Sometimes nothing comes up. Sometimes it sucks, and that's okay. You just have to stay consistent with it. And I think the most important thing is using your physiology, using your body to shift your mind. We like to think our way out of things. And I'm like, that you can't think your way out of anxiety. You can't think your way out of depression. You can't think your way out of, XYZ, fill in the blank. I know that triad that we Greg taught us, using your physiology, and then like you attach, when you focus on something, you then attach a meaning to it, and then, blah, blah, blah. So using your body to shift your mind, and it's just, it's, you can't force what comes up. You just let it come up. And whatever comes up, you don't judge it. You just appreciate whatever comes up. And it is what it is. Like, don't expect a certain experience is what I'm trying to say.
Right there is good. And that kind of hits home for me, because every single time I've gone into either the breath work or the meditation or what have you, I always have an expectation. I've set an expectation every single time for it. And it's like, okay, what if I listen to Carlie and I just go in without an expectation? If something happens, great. If nothing happens, awesome. And then from what I hear, like, even if you can get into a meditation state where you honestly thought about nothing for 10 minutes, it's actually even more healthy and beneficial for yourself, because you were able to turn off that crazy squirrel brain for 10 minutes, and you've been able to recover and come back even stronger after. So that I love that. That makes sense.
Opportunity to quiet your mind.
Yes. I don't have very much opportunities for that, except when I'm sleeping.
Yeah, right. Well, what could be a good one for you too is yoga nidra. It's NSDR, non-sleep deep rest. Andrew Huberman talks about it a lot.
Yeah.
And it can even, it takes like 10, 15, 20 minutes sometimes, where you're not sleeping, but you're resting your mind and your body. So I tried it once and I did fall asleep. However, it worked. I woke up refreshed.
Nice.
I mean, if that helps me fall asleep too, I mean, that sounds like a win-win.
Then
why not?
Like it might be something you need to do before you go to bed. That way you go to bed with an empty mind.
Yes.
And then you could sleep a little bit more peacefully, so you don't go to sleep thinking about
the next business,
X, Y, and Z, and the next business you want to start tomorrow.
Right? the fifth LLC, which we won't talk about.
Oh, yeah, don't tell our tax guy that.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about before we jumped on, we want to have the vacation home in Italy, and we needed the private jet to get there. Well, we got to make money to do all that. So I'm just saying.
Business.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to get something on the coast maybe, or in the countryside, either one. As long as espresso and coffee's present, we're good.
That was the best part. I'm not going to lie.
And
pasta.
So good.
Pizza was so good too.
We lost weight.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks.
No, straight up.
I lost weight, and I ate everything. It's not like I was on a diet. I ate everything.
Chris and I will have like 10 scoops of gelato, and because I'm not even exaggerating, like we'll have 10. The gelato people that sell us the gelato are always like, are you sure that is this just for you? And we're like, yes, 100%. 10 scoops.
Send it.
Please.
Send it.
Send it. Send it. And he's fine. Yeah. And speaking of coffee, have you guys ever had nappuccinos, where you have a coffee right before you take a nap? And within
I've heard of it, and I don't know how you do that.
What?
Because the caffeine doesn't kick in for another 10, 15, 20 minutes. So when you wake up from your quick power nap, it's like a double
ready to go.
Bam. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. I don't nap normally, but the few times that I have, I'm like, wow.
I used to nap, and then I got 2 kids.
So drink it.
Yeah.
Go take a nap for 10 minutes, and then wake up and be like, bam, 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 let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, let's go. But you have to be able to fall asleep right after you drink it. Otherwise, if you wait for it to kick in, then it's game over. Just no nap. Just
I'm not falling asleep in 10 minutes. So
I was gonna say, like, how do I know that I fall asleep in 10 minutes?
Well, then don't try it.
Yeah. No, I always feel like if I go to lay down to try to take a nap, it takes me
Yeah.
longer to fall asleep.
Yeah. It just has to happen organically, So, like when you're watching a movie, it's like you start.
One of these.
Yeah. Start drooling.
Mouth,
Just kidding.
mouth open, snoring. He
Yeah.
always catches images of me doing
Oh.
that.
So good.
Oh, man. So what was the last adventure that you guys went on?
Ours would be, the big one would be Italy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Italy? Okay.
And it was amazing.
I want to
So,
go back so bad.
yes.
We're definitely getting a vacation home out there.
For sure.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
Not if, but when.
Not if, but when. I like it.
So that kind of leads us into adventures. So after you kind of rediscovering yourself, you met this amazing man named Chris, and you guys started Eternal Warriors. And now you can now pass on all that information. Yep. And the color of it is awesome. Just throwing that out there. It's gold. And but helping others also reconnect with nature. What, obviously that's gonna be the leading one, but what else got you guys to start Eternal Warriors?
Well, when I first met Chris, who I'm a huge fan of course.
Of course.
and
He'll be on
big
another
fan,
podcast episode with us.
right? Stay tuned.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I freaking love him so much. So one of our very first dates, I mean, we went on a few dates, of course. I'm not like a complete psycho where I go on an adventure with a man that I don't know. But our first adventure together, and that's kind of how we connected, and that's how he slid into my DMs. He was he was like, "Hey, I'm going to climb Mount Whitney in a couple months. Do you want to come with?" I don't think he thought I was gonna say yes, and I'm like 100%, let's do it. And he's like, "Okay, cool." So, and that's how we got to talking, and we got to know each other better. And we want to spend the majority of our lives outdoors. I mean, I love home. I love stability. Especially now we have our new home, right? I love all
Which is
that,
awesome.
right? So good. I can't wait to have you guys over.
Oh, it's gonna be a blast.
But the way that like I was able to connect with him, I was able to connect with myself, and it's harder to do that when, like, we were talking about earlier on, when you just have so much going on, and it's all about connection and of course self-discovery.
Yes.
But going on these adventures was just so good for the soul, and it's just indescribable, especially when you're doing hard things, right? I know Andrew Huberman talks about this with David Goggins, for example. He talks about the part of your brain that grows when you put yourself through adversity, and you're doing things that you don't want to do, and you discover parts of yourself that you didn't even know existed.
Every
And
time.
every time, and every adventure, every mountain, every whatever it is, always has a different message for you. So when we first did Whitney, I was like, this sucks. I'm never doing this again. I love you so much. I love being out in nature, but I wasn't a mountain climber. I lived on, flat ground on the equator in really warm weather for the majority of my life. So I meet this man who takes me up, the tallest mountain in the lower 48.
Yeah.
It's cold. I'm like, I haven't really climbed, I've climbed for, like maybe a hill or a mountain when I was younger. That was the extent of it. And I did this really hard thing. And I was like, wow, you know what? I'm actually kind of obsessed with this thing, with this doing hard things situation. So
we're gonna pause you real quick.
Go for it.
They are so loud. Also, go tell them to be quiet.
I can't hear a thing.
Oh, that's good. Well, then if you can't hear it, then maybe this audio is doing pretty good.
It's really good,
and it's taking away the outside noise because it's supposed to, but and then we'll just obviously edit this part out.
Nah.
And we interrupted you, so we'll get back to the Mount Whitney part.
Yeah. I'm like, I can't hear a thing. My brain was just going back to that first adventure. I'm like, yeah, I chose this really for the rest of my life.
Sorry, I was hoping you guys were going to just continue and ignore me. I was checking to make sure the door was locked.
I already locked it.
Oh, yeah. Jackson swung it open the other day when I was recording my solo episode. And I'm like,
interesting.
I was like, I was 15. I was like 15 minutes in, and I was trying to go for 20 to 25. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna start this over.
You're like,
Okay, now we'll just pick back up where we left off. Yeah, that's what I ended up having to do.
And cut.
I mean,
All right.
and start.
And go. So Mount Whitney.
And Mount Whitney, yes. So yeah, apart from reconnecting and rediscovering, you're going like taking what you learn on these adventures back to your daily life.
Mhm.
You know, that flat tire or that annoying person at work or that, you know, tough conversation that you have to have aren't so difficult after you've been through things that are way harder.
Yeah.
And your capacity for things increases, right? You adapt and you become resilient and you're able to hold more. And there's this lady on Instagram that I recently started following, and she describes it beautifully. How strong people, if you're just strong, you're like a balloon, right? And
Yeah.
you can pop.
Oof.
You have to be resilient and you have to be able to increase your capacity, because you can't keep being strong, 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 strong. And then something like you've reached your max capacity and then you're like, you just burst. And that was so powerful. I was like, wow, damn, that's so good.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody's capacity for hard is different, right?
Yeah.
For some people, it could be like for me a few years ago, you know, after some of the interesting situations, people that I had in my life, taking a shower was a massive win for me.
Wow.
Going for a 10-minute walk was a massive win for me. I was like, damn, you got this, Carlie.
Yeah.
And I look back and I'm like, dude, that was only 2 years ago. 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago. Actually 2 years ago. Because we're in 2025. That's wild. And now my capacity for hard things has increased so much. Had you told me 2 years ago that I was going to be doing a podcast or talking on stage or any of that, I would have thought you were crazy.
Yeah.
But here we are, and now this is enjoyable. This is normal because I'm connecting with amazing humans. So just having that perspective shift and having those experiences completely transforms your life, because then you're like, okay, what's next, you know,
Yes.
it's the next mountain, it's the
Oh
next
yeah.
stage, it's the next business, it's the next XYZ, fill in the blank. And you know, as we all know, the essence of life is growth, and you only grow when you put yourself through these challenges and through adversity and through these really uncomfortable things sometimes, and then you make it through and you're like, damn, we got this. What's
You're like,
next?
damn,
You know,
I'm
the
good.
buffalo in you, I'm sure, is like
That's me.
yeah.
Yes. Perseverance and resilience is the least that I have issues with. It's the other stuff. It's the mine's more of the slowing down part, and that's where you and I we've discussed where you need to just go outside, you need to just ground, you need to just do breath work, even if it's only for, like you said, 10 minutes. Like you were talking about going for a walk for just 10 minutes. That's also the same thing that we talk about. Like if you could just get outside before you start your quote unquote day for 10 minutes, whether or not the sun is up or not, like just going outside really helps me be more present. And that's something that I don't nearly do enough, that I have to try to force myself to do more. My sleep schedules and nights to days kind of doesn't help, but when I'm on a schedule more, that's it. I could definitely feel a difference with that.
Absolutely. And I think that's why you guys make such a beautiful um beautiful couple.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you.
because you've got, you know, you balance each other out
Yes.
when it comes to that. So
Oh
obviously
yeah.
brings like this badass but feminine and soft and, you know, I mean, fierce when she needs to be, but she can definitely help you slow down too. And then you're the opposite. And Chris is the same for me. He is bringing out the buffalo in me sometimes, where he's like, okay, you said you're going to do this, this, and that. Here's, you know, are you going to do this in the next 3 hours? And I was like, sure. Normally this would have taken me 3 days, but, you know, this is inspiring. You're inspiring me. Let's do it in 3 hours instead.
I'm looking in the mirror at you. I'm looking at you. I'm seeing myself in the mirror. That's why, literally, I think when we had the conversation where I'm like, oh, you're my soul sister.
For
God
sure.
sent you to me for a reason. We're like so the same. We think a lot alike. we value a lot of the same things, and we both have special like superpowers to share with the world, and like putting us together is just like a force to be reckoned with.
So good.
I
I
just love
love you
you.
so much. I love you too. I know. As soon as like we met, I was like
can't wait
soul
for the next
sister.
event. No, seriously. I feel like it was like almost an instant connection.
Yeah.
Fully believe in what is it? God, I'm wanting to get into like physics here, but also didn't pay attention in school. So go me. Is it
My physics
polarity?
teacher was
Like
high, so
That was my history teacher.
jeez.
no, but
Yeah.
I agree.
Basically the
Energy.
magnetic, the magnetic and the like just the gravitational pull between us. Like we were brought together.
100%.
I felt that.
So since you guys are talking about that, how about we talk about this Kappa group that Carlie, you guys started, that's within the final percent that you guys just came back from, and how much that is so necessary and needed for women out there that are maybe struggling, or they're just at a high point too and they want to be pushed even further.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like the community in general, the final percent is insane. Like there's nothing quite like it. I've never had a community like that before. The Kappa women are just oof, it just gives me goosebumps when I think about it.
Next level.
It's like we're talking about energy and connection, and what I felt with you guys, what I felt with, Greg and Kayla. But now we get to have like 20 plus women, and then their partners, the husbands and the boyfriends and the men have their own as well. And it's just so crucial to have a good experience with women. I was very much in my masculine growing up, and I feel like I didn't have a lot of great female friendships, and that probably stems from childhood, because everything stems from childhood. Your relationship with your mom, your relationship with your dad, or being bullied, whatever. Everybody's story is different, but having that as an adult and being able to lean into that community and the shared experiences too. I mean, I received some pretty rough news last week, and Chris is like, okay, who can we talk to? Do you need to talk to Greg? Do you need to talk to some of the women? How can I best support you? How can I best show up for you? And I'm like, no, I don't need to talk to anybody. It's fine. I just need to process this. It'll be fine in like 24 hours. And like my entire childhood just came crashing down. And I was like, Carlie, you're probably not going to process this in the next 24 hours. And he reminded me, he's like, you have this group of incredible women who have also been through hell and back, who have, they have, different perspectives, and they come from all different walks of life, and you all come together and you can all support each other. You can all love in each other. You can all hold each other accountable and be there for one another without judgment. And I'm like, damn, I've never had that before. Thanks for the reminder.
Yep.
So yeah, it's beautiful. And Bre, like you said, when you come together with other humans that have, you're vibrating at a very similar frequency, it just amplifies and it supercharges everything. So it's so exciting. So exciting. Yeah. What's your experience been with it?
No, I think is like I've said before, when I going into it, I already felt a boost of confidence just because of all the work that that led up to it. Leaving, I felt even more confident, and I felt more empowered because I felt like I was literally pulling like that high frequency from all the other women that we have in our community, because of just their, I don't even know if you want to say like aura. Does that sound, I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it is.
But it's just a feeling that you get in the room, like legitimately I could feel the vibrations in my body, and it kind of really got me to thinking and realizing like how much and how important it is for women to need other women and men to need other men, which is why we have Gamma Group too.
Yep.
So being able to have a community of women where there's literally zero judgment, we come wholeheartedly and we support each other wholeheartedly, just gives me a little bit more faith in humanity, to be honest.
Right.
Because, like, you know, there's some
100%.
people out there that just feel like the women that feel like they got to be mean girls, or that they can't support other women because they think it's going to tear them down, when really it does the exact opposite. You supporting other women helps boost you up and helps boost other women around you. So why not support each other? We're stronger
It's,
together.
it's
And
like
I
that
just love that
candle
about our
analogy.
women. Yeah. Well, and the thing is, like, yeah, we're all very like-minded, which is why we were meant to be in the same room together, but we're also so different in a number of ways. But the way that we're able to, like, collectively be in the same room and be who we are without being told, like, that's not right, you know, or what have you, like, we're allowed to be ourselves. We're allowed to have our own beliefs, our own opinions, but we all have the common mindset of wanting to support each other and wanting to grow as individuals.
133%. Absolutely. And that's what's so important is, having women with different perspectives and, from different walks of life,
Yeah.
all come together and you're still able to be yourself. And
Mhm.
I mean, that's one way to learn new things, new perspectives, new life lessons through other women,
Yeah.
but you're still able to be yourself. And for the people, whether it's men or women out there that are super judgy or, try to tear you down, that's a reflection of them, if
Mhm.
not of you. So it's like you project a lot of, and I notice that with myself too sometimes.
Yeah.
I notice myself judging something that I see, and I immediately have to stop myself. I'm like, why?
Same.
And then I
Same.
look inwards. Like,
Yeah.
we're not perfect.
So good.
Judgment is going to happen. Being a brat sometimes is going to happen, or as long as you take that thought and you dig deeper within yourself and you get to the root cause of why you thought that or felt that,
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
transforms the way that like your outlook on life in general. So yeah, I
Yeah.
completely
Well,
agree.
being
And
aware of it,
right.
of our awareness, because I think, and as humans, it's our, like, natural thing is to be judgmental, and then
Yeah,
we automatically want to go to the worst thing. And it's like, well, why not think,
the
what's the
best.
best thing? Yeah, what's the best thing? What's the best case scenario? What's the best thing that can happen? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. And yeah, the candle analogy keeps coming up. It's like a candle loses nothing by letting other candles
Nope.
lighting up other candle. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
It's like you're
Yeah.
just
Yes.
spreading your light. Be a
Yes.
lighthouse.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's a work in progress where nobody's perfect. We
Always.
just it all comes down to awareness, and you don't have to overthink things and overanalyze every single thought and emotion. Like, most emotions don't need an action. You just kind of have to sit with it, let it pass through you so it doesn't stay stuck in your body, and then you just move on. And then if there's a thought that's important, or a judgment or whatever it is that you're not so happy with, and you're like, okay, let's dig deeper into this one. But yeah, just continue to grow, continue to learn, and that's the beauty of life. And the beauty of life is also being able to do it with people like you guys. So
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. On that note, if you can help out our listeners, where the statistics show that the majority of our thoughts every single day are negative, and the majority of our thoughts are the same thought as the day before. So, what tools and tactics have you used that have worked for you, or that you like to pass on to your Kappa girls to help them when that negative thought does creep into their mind? And let's say we've become better aware, but how do we now combat that, or what are some good tactics or tools for that?
oh man, yeah, that's a good one. I feel like most of the tools that we've talked about kind of compressed into one practice,
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, and I guess it goes back to that annoying roommate, right? It's a conscious choice that you have to make when you wake up in the morning. If you wake up and you do the same thing, you have the same thoughts, and a Dr. Joe Dispenza, talks about this a lot, you're going to end up with the same results. You're going to end up with the same life. If you're happy with that life, if you're happy being, mediocre or average or negative, carry on.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to fight bad thoughts, like your life depends on it, because it does depend
Yes.
on it. Right.
That's
So
true.
having that awareness, catching yourself, it's like, hey, that was a really shitty thought, or the annoying roommate. It's like, why are you being so negative? Why are you talking down to me? Which is you to
Ooh.
yourself, really.
Yeah, it's true.
Getting rid of that roommate, evicting them, has been huge.
That's so good
And
right there.
the awareness, I think, comes from practices like meditation and breath work and going for a walk with no music, no podcast, no, even by yourself if you can, or with your dog, or even with your kids. It's, you do whatever you have to do, but just sitting with, just reconnecting to yourself. Like, again, who you are at your core, like your soul, your consciousness, whatever you want to call it. I think that's where it all starts. So that's it.
So yeah, so we've talked
Anything
about
to add?
this. Yeah, no, we've talked about this and we've gone back and forth about it. Is what do we have to have a morning routine then? Do we have to have this evening routine then, so that way we can start our day or end our day on the right foot, so those negative thoughts and stuff don't creep into our mind?
I mean, if you can, I
Okay.
like the idea of a morning routine, and
Mhm.
most mornings I do have a routine,
Okay.
but I also have to have grace on the days that I don't, because life gets in the way. Again, life isn't perfect, and
Yeah.
stressing yourself over not being perfect or not having the perfect morning routine or the perfect night routine.
Yes.
That's why I like to do the grounding, getting sunlight in my eyes, and the breath work in 10 minutes in the morning when I can,
Yeah.
because it's easy to do. Like, it doesn't have to be a 3-hour ritual.
Right.
Same with with the eve. Like, we have lives, right? We have kids, we have
Yeah.
families, we have careers, we have businesses, whatever. And even in the evening, just watching the sunset when I can, it helps me sleep better. It's amazing for your mood. It I don't know, it feels good, right? It's like
Yes.
you
I
feel
love
like
that.
you're connected to what matters. But yeah, I guess having a morning routine and an evening routine when you can, and whatever works for you guys. Like, everybody's routine is going to be different, but that's helped me massively kind of stay on track. And I know when I have those little wins, as soon as the day starts, I'm like, yes, I've had water. Yes, I've moved my body. Yes, sunlight. Yes, grounding. Yes, tiny little wins that just set the mood for the day. And I know, I'm like, everything's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be good. And it trains your mind to have those positive
That's good.
thoughts.
There you
Right? 'Cause
go.
That's good right there.
and
Yeah.
keeping your promises to yourself. If you say you're gonna wake up at a certain time and then you hit the snooze button, you're telling yourself that you're not trustworthy. You're telling yourself that you don't keep um, your promises to yourself. And I think we talked about this at the Kappa retreat. You're the person that you spend the most time with. Make sure that you don't lose respect for yourself. So keeping that in the back of your mind has helped me massively. Yeah.
That's so good.
I just need to have you in my head when I wake up in the morning. and to
That's
not hit
sweet.
my snooze, because I literally am like, okay, the alarm went off. Get your fucking ass out of bed.
It's so hard some mornings.
I feel like it's
Yes.
not every morning, because I'm trying to shift my thought behind it. I'm like, no, we actually like mornings, because once we're up and once we're moving, we feel good and we feel more accomplished. And that's for me, like with the kids, like I have to wake up before them so I can have a little bit of that me time, whether that be sitting at the kitchen table with my cup of coffee in complete silence and do absolutely nothing for a little bit, just so I can have that quiet before I like start my day. But the grounding part, I need to start doing that again. I haven't done that in a minute. Usually I end up, if any grounding that does happen, it doesn't happen first thing in the morning lately. It's in the middle of the day when I'm outside playing with the kids. And so I'm like, okay, cool, perfect opportunity. I'll do a sandbag workout or a body weight workout, and I'll go do it barefoot in the yard. So now I get to play with my kids and get a workout in. And I'm like, cool.
Perfect. Perfect. That's perfect. Again, it doesn't
But
have to be this crazy sacred ritual, like with candles and music and
oh,
things.
dude, no, that's for me, I'm sorry. That's unrealistic for a mom, or unrealistic for anybody who's running, a business, as an entrepreneur. But it's like, okay, that 3-hour ritual thing might be perfect if you are single and have no other responsibilities but going to work.
Yeah. You live in like Costa Rica in a jungle and all you do is,
yeah.
do
But I'm like,
ayahuasca
hey,
from
if
morning
that's
to
something that works for you, but you have to wake up at 4 a.m. to get those 3 hours in for that morning ritual, go you. More power to you. Not
exactly.
me. Not
Not
me.
me either. Like
Not
good.
me. Sorry.
And that reminds me, the pivot year, which we got at the Kappa retreat. This has been
Yes.
amazing. Just to add another little thing,
No.
like you mentioned journaling.
Yes.
These are such short. You've got like 365 days.
Yeah.
Short paragraphs, short prompts, and
Uh-huh.
you write like a page or two, and then you're like, okay, cool. I don't have to spend an hour journaling if I don't want to. So just being efficient with your time and with the things that you choose to do. That's the only way you're going to stay consistent. So good for you for doing all the things like playing with the kids and the workout and grounding. So you found what worked for you.
Thank you. No, I try to. Like I know I've definitely improved and gotten better in that way. I'm like, okay, how can I maximize my time and crunch a couple of things into like one thing, and that way I'm getting more done at once, and not to the capacity where I end up getting overwhelmed and I'm like, oh shit, I'm doing too much.
Yeah,
But like that, for
exactly.
something like that, it's easy for me to do. I mean, there's even times where I'll have one earbud in and I'll listen to an audiobook while I'm working out, while I'm also still interacting with the kids and still, obviously there's certain books where it's harder to do that. Like for example, I thought the Green Lights book, Matthew McConaughey, that one was actually a really good one, and it was entertaining while I was doing the workout and while I was playing with like Jackson and Lainey in the backyard too. So being able to listen to that and do all that at the same time, I'm like, okay, this is one that I can get away with.
Yeah.
Deep work, on the other hand, that one I need silence. That one I need silence and can't be doing anything else, not even laundry.
No, 100%. Yeah, I'm like absolute silence. Yeah, that's good. Well, good stuff, guys.
Yeah, so let's finish up real quick with what you guys have going on for the rest of this year. Eternal Warriors has a ton of upcoming stuff, and there's a big announcement that you guys just made, and we would love for you guys to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. I feel like we keep adding things onto the calendar. So next is the enchantments, which apparently, the permits for the enchantments are really hard to get. So we've got that coming up. Then we have
So real quick, if you're in the Washington area and you want to go, you need to reach out to Eternal Warriors, Carlie or Chris. Reach out to them. You're not going to be able to go to the enchantments with other groups that don't have these permits. So reach out to them. If you're in the area, it's going to be amazing. Yes.
Yeah. Thanks
you.
I'm like, thank you.
I got you.
Yes, you got me. Well, I think
and don't worry, we will shoot all these links in all the notes and all the comments, so you'll be able to take a look at them.
Thank you. Yeah, I think we have a few spots left for that one. So
Perfect.
reach out if you want to join. We'll do some survival training, personal protection, navigation. We'll do some breath work, cold plunges. Could be amazing.
Nature stuff.
Nature stuff. A lot of nature mindset stuff. And then we've got Mount Rainier. So we're going to do, crevasse rescue training, teach you how to self-arrest. That's going to be, I think, a 4-day thing because we like to have 1 to 2 field days of training. So we're confident when we go to summit, in case anybody falls through something and they need to get pulled out, everybody's confident enough to do that. And of course, it's a perishable skill. So you keep training, right? And then we've got Tanzania again in August. And then we've got, before then, we've got Portugal. And then after Tanzania, we've got Greece. We're about to announce Greece. We haven't announced it yet, but once we do, which will be in the next couple of days, just saying.
That's where we wanted to go for our honeymoon before Italy.
And we shifted to Italy.
Oh my gosh! So good choice.
We still want to go to Greece.
So we're gonna have to chat. Just saying.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna do Mount Olympus, then we're gonna explore ancient Greece, and then we're gonna go to the island. So we're gonna do all 3 in one. Because why not?
Because might as well.
Why
You're there.
Yeah.
When are you going to Greece?
Last week of September.
Oh, Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we'll announce it now. Last week of September, we're
There
going
you
to
go.
race.
Guys.
There you go. Surprise! If you made it this long into the podcast.
Yeah. So we're gonna chat.
That is awesome. And
For
then
sure.
there's been Kilimanjaro before. There's Pikes Peak. There's so many things. So if you're trying to go on an adventure, or you need to be reconnected with nature, or you need to get a kick in the butt to go do something, you got to reach out to
I'll
them.
kick you in the butt. I'll kick you in the butt.
It's going to be awesome for any and all of those. So we're
Yeah.
excited. We're definitely going to join you on one or two of those for sure.
Oh,
It
for
has
sure.
to happen.
It's
I'll
happening.
just have to. I'll get the time off somehow.
You guys are the real deal, and I don't think anybody should go on any of these adventures without you.
No. I mean, if you guys like to get handcuffed and breaking out of that, and if you guys like to get thrown into the back of a car to get out of that, and duct taped, I mean, there's so many different things. I mean, again.
No, they're the reason now. Like, I don't put on a pair of pants without putting at least 2 bobby pins in my pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to do it.
I put them in my pocket, and I put extras in my purse or my clutch.
Mhm.
Like, I have to. I'm like, what are the chances?
We don't know, but we're prepared.
Yeah.
We're prepared. For sure. Yeah, we'll kick you in the butt and then we'll hug you. Or, Anthony, we can kidnap you if you want for work, but we may have some people come after us if we do that. So I don't know how that's going to work out.
Yeah,
but we'll make it happen regardless.
Do it while I'm off duty. Don't do it while I'm working. That might not work out.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And then
I wouldn't like that.
Yeah, because there's an animal that's with me, and he won't be happy.
No, he won't.
And then if you do it off duty, again, make sure he's locked up, which he is the majority of the time. But
I'll let him know. I'll have a conversation with him. It's like, hey, this is going to happen to Dad. It's going to be okay.
He'll be fine. He'll come back home.
Yeah. Don't bite my face off.
He prefers wrists, but
treats? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a good point.
He doesn't like treats. No, that's not going to work. Yeah.
I figured.
He likes toys and people.
Steak.
Yeah, I mean, a steak would probably be nice. I mean, it's kind of like a person, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yes, Carlie, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. If anybody's interested, again, needs to get a kick in the butt, wants to go on some crazy adventures and have a blast with some amazing people, you need to check out Eternal Warriors. Check out Chris and Carlie. They've got their YouTube channel. They've got everything. So we'll put the links for everything in there, and we can't wait to interview Chris as well.
Oh my gosh. I love you guys so much, and I'm so proud of everything you're doing. You guys are killing it, and I'm so blessed to have you guys in my life, and of course Chris's too. So thank you.
Yes.
I love you.
We love you.
Thank you so much. We love you more. And again, everybody, subscribe, follow.
If you like the show, share it.
Do all the works. Thanks. We appreciate it. Take care.
Bye.
And just wait right there for